Give me peace. I wonder how many times you've said that this year. Maybe it's because your house has been so full, the kids not at school, everybody at work, everybody competing for internet bandwidth, the television on too loud, people walking in the middle of your phone calls when you're busy with work. Whatever it would be, maybe you're used to saying, give me peace, because everything has seemed more frenetic and frantic than it has before. Or maybe the give me peace is of a quieter sort because you are affected by the uncertainty and anxiety that this year has brought with it. That lack of peace, the uncertainty of life, being reminded of that over the course of this year has been hard, I know, for many of us. But into that God speaks, and into that Christmas speaks. The offer of the child with two names, the one who's called Emmanuel, God with us, the one who's come to bring us peace with God and from God, and the one who's called Jesus, and called that because he will take away the sins of the world. That's the offer that we have of peace this Christmas. And so that sense of not being able to sleep at night, or the restlessness of life, and sometimes it's good for us just to sit and gather and contemplate and think about who Jesus is, and that's what Christmas allows us to do. So I have for you a Christmas poem. So if you're sitting comfortably, let me begin. 'Twas the night before Christmas, in a moment of still, before angels woke shepherds from their sleep on a hill. All creation was hanging with a sense of despair, holding out for the promise God had made of repair. 'Twas the night before the promise from God first unfolded, the night before man from the dirt he had moulded. Made as the high point of all God had perfected, people still wanted more, and God's love they rejected. 'Twas the night before Exodus and freedom from slavery, from the helplessness that comes from oppression and tyranny, yet a promise of protection through a lamb being slain and release for God's people to promise from pain. 'Twas the night before Easter, and God's promise revealed of a way to be saved from what rejecting him sealed. The promise in a person who would die on a cross to make a way to God that our sin had thought lost. 'Twas the night before Christmas, in a moment of quiet, where we thought for a while on that night sung of silent, where the promise was born in an unlikely place to offer you freedom from sin and disgrace. 'Tis the night before Christmas, so what will you do with Jesus, who exists as God's promise of peace to you? The promise of peace, hope, and joy is revealed, for the promise has come, and the offer is real.